there ever been a time when you're on the internet when you just come across someone so stupid that you can't believe it, that you're just like, no, this can't be real, just, no. You think it's like someone off that movie Idiocracy or something, just, you can't believe that someone like this exists. But unfortunately, they do. And there are a lot of them, just here, there, they're everywhere. It's the internet, it's a big place, they're there. So, I came up with a list of just a bunch of people on the internet I hate, just the usual stupid groups that I usually see around there. So, I have 5 on here. I'm pretty sure there's some more I hate, but I really couldn't think of them at the time right now, but let's go around with these ones and just look at them. The first one is fanboys. Okay, so everyone needs to know the difference between a fan and a fanboy. A fan, just a normal fan, will buy the DVDs of things, or workbooks, or video games, anything like that. They're just like the overall stuff and everything like that. They're buy the merchandise and all that. But they will admit there are problems with it. They may say like, oh, that episode sucked, or anything just similar to that. They will admit it does have problems. A fanboy, on the other hand, or a girl, and fangirls do exist, will just admit that there's no problems with it. It's perfect. There's no way that something like that can be just... If you say anything negative about it, you're a terrible person and you deserve to die. Just because their opinion is better than yours. I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it? They're better than you, they're smarter than you. Duh. So, why should your opinion matter? Fuck your opinion. So, you come across these people just all the time because the way they think is just amazing. Because you say just one little thing bad, and they go out on you, just, and may even get just all their friends on you and tell you you're terrible. Even if you're a fan, also a fan of the thing they like, and just have to admit about this one little thing you hate about it, they will say that you're not a true fan, that you're a phony. It's like, what does that have to do with anything? Nothing's perfect. I mean, I buy the DVDs, I wear the shirts, what else do I need to do? So just, and I could probably make a whole video on fanboys themselves, just the particular ones I hate, but this is pretty much just boys on a whole, just because in the end they're all the same. They don't like it when you talk about their little, I don't know what you would call it, just Lord, I guess, but that's fanboys, and personally, they're one of my least favorite things. Gen 1ers. I like Pokemon. I grew up with it. I grew up with Generation 1, and because of that, it's pretty much one of my favorite generations, if not my favorite. Yeah, I call it my favorite. So, I hate it whenever I have to be associated with a Gen 1er just because I like Generation 1 the best. Now, a Generation 1er is, in case you don't know, is someone who only really likes the first generation of Pokemon, the first one that came out, the first 151 Pokemon. That's what they like. I mean, sometimes, actually probably a lot of the time, they will like Generation 2 because it was part of their childhood and they were kids while it came out, so Generation 2, a lot of them can handle. Generation 3, on the other hand, is where they draw the line. And, truth be told, I don't like Generation 3 that much, but I will still play the games and all that, but just because the Pokemon are a little bit different and they change a few of the rules, they hate it. And they just pretend they don't exist. It's just like, Why? And they make all the Gen 1 fans look terrible. Because they won't accept it. Now, I don't like all the new generations that much. I mean, in my opinion, Generation 5 is the worst. I could never get into it. Just, I don't know why, I didn't like it that much. Gen 6, on the other hand, I liked. I thought it was kind of fun. I mean, if I had to put it somewhere, I think I would have it at number 3 behind Generations 1 and 2, but Gen 6 I kind of like. But when you ever have a Gen 1er come across you, it's just like, you're pretty much just like, okay, can you just watch a couple episodes, play the games, and try not to have a bias? I'm sure you would have fun. The games are pretty much still the same. They're the same concept. You go around the whatever it's called, region, and just capture Pokemon and try to become the best by getting as much as you can and defeating the Pokemon League. It's the exact same thing. I mean, there are a few differences, but, you know, that has to happen to keep it just going, because if it didn't change at all, people would get bored at it and it would go away. Because even Mario had to change at one point, people. So, Gen 1ers. Okay, this one is going to be a little more harder to say because I am one myself actually, so 90s kids. The bad thing about some 90s kids out there, not all of them, but some of them, is that they will not accept anything that is just beyond a certain year, whether it's 2000 or 2004 or 2007 or anything like that. If it gets to that little year, they're like, I'm not gonna be on that. Every show will be on that. Year sucks. I'm not watching it. It's like, but there are some really good shows beyond that year. You're missing out on a lot. And truth be told, is I used to be one of these people, actually, kind of. I would go around seeing pretty much every cartoon after this show, because I hate it. And I think I do still have it a little bit in me, so that's a negative for me, but there are a lot of shows beyond what I consider the bad year, 2004, to be good. I mean, there's Danny Phantom, good show. Avatar, good show. What else? Cusco's New Groove, or New School, I think it was. It's okay. I mean, I don't think a ton of people like it, but I personally liked it. American Dragon Jake Long, Gravity Falls, and a few more. And I personally really don't care for shows like Steven Universe or My Little Pony that much. Now I'm probably going to get tons of feminists at me, but I personally don't care for those shows that much. I don't think they're bad. I do think they are really good shows. They're just not my style, but I will admit that they are some good shows, unlike some people out there who just say, oh no, what and they just make other 90s kids look bad, that we just won't be look ahead into the future and will always be in the past. And it's like, not all of us are like that. We do like some of the good shows out there that are newer and fresh. So, and guys, 90s kids, there were some bad shows from our childhood, okay? I mean, not everything was golden, and video games, movies, all that. Just, there was some bad stuff out there. Just, you actually had to look at it again and see if it's like, oh wow, this actually kind of sucks. So, 90s kids, just, some of us need to grow up, okay? People who stereotype. Have you ever come across a person when, maybe you posted something on a forum or something, you say, like, you like this or you don't like that, and you post it, and then you just happen to have the place you're from on the side, and then some person sees that and is like, type away, and there's like, of course you're from that place, you stupid redneck, you probably, And they just go on and on and on. It's like, what are you talking about? I just said, why did you lead me to this? And I hate stereotypes. I don't like them. I don't believe most of them because I just think they're something that people use to make themselves, the person who's saying them, feel better about themselves and feel superior and whatever. Because, oh, my place is better. I grew up here. I should know. Even though I never went to the place you live at, I know from movies and TV shows and books that it's a terrible place. They always tell the truth, not from personal experience. So, you get all kinds of stereotypes, like people from New York are rude, people from the South are all hicks, people from California only care about themselves, people in the Midwest pretty much don't exist, like me. So, I hate stereotypes, and of course there are other ones that are non-American, like no one also cares about Canadians and they say a boot. People from the UK have terrible teeth and they drink tea. People from France are rude and just whatever French stereotypes there are, and then people from Africa have AIDS, and just the list goes on and on and on and on. And there are some positive stereotypes too, but not all of them are true also, because like great. I really can't think of one right now, but not all of them are true. Some are, but not all of them. So, that's stereotypes. I hate them. I just don't like it when they're used on me or someone else. They need to stop. Okay, this is the big one. And it's pretty much the one I've kind of gotten more into lately. I think I actually have known about them for some time, but I just haven't known their particular name. And that is social justice warriors. Social justice warriors. You could just make a book on how much you can hate someone like a social justice warrior, because the way a social justice warrior operates is just completely amazing. Now, for someone who doesn't know what a social justice warrior is, they're pretty much someone who gets offended by everything, and they have to go around saying that all this stuff's offensive and you have to apologize and that they're just trying to make the world a better place. Because if you make just one gay joke or something, you're a homophobe. Kind of like when Drake Bell said, "Still calling you Bruce." People called him a homophobe. They said that they're not going to be fans of him anymore, and they even said that he should die. Because that's open-minded, right? And that's what they do. They bully people. And they just will get all their friends after you and all that, their little army, and they will claim that they're still open-minded people. Just because they accept same-sex marriage or something. Just because someone accepts same-sex marriage doesn't mean they're an open-minded person. They can still be a closed-minded person. Open-mindedness has nothing to do with it. So it also has to do a lot with being a feminist. Now, I think women should have equal rights. They're people. They should have equal rights. They deserve it. But just the things that social justice warriors say are just amazing. And if I'm not mistaken, they're the sexist ones, not the people who criticize them, so. And then you also have the ones who go and attack video gamers for being just violent people who don't think women should play or develop them or anything like that, like in that one, Law and Order episode. So that thing was a riot if you haven't seen it. Just see it, it's funny, but social justice warriors, oh man, and the sad thing is, I kind of see how some of my friends turn into social justice warriors over time, because when they get on Tumblr or something, they just start to turn to them over time, and I do have a Tumblr account, but the main reason I have a Tumblr account is just to see fan art or something, because a lot of fan art on there is pretty good. I like it. People work really hard on those, and I want them to become noticed. I put some of my fan art on there, so. And I also just like to see what some people's opinions are on shows or movies or anything else I'm into, so. But I try to escape the social justice warrior culture from those other people, but because some of the people I am, I guess, shared to, I'm not sure what it's called, but I do have to run into it at a time, and just people go like, oh, I mean, even comparing Donald Trump to a Nazi, I mean, I don't like Donald Trump, I think he's a moron, but comparing him to a Nazi, I don't think anybody, no one, at least any kind of American political who's in the politics should be compared to a Nazi. Just, you shouldn't do that. Don't do that, because there's a difference between working to have over 6 million Jews killed and just saying a few just controversial things. There's a big difference. But according to social justice warriors, they don't care. But if you probably compare Bomb to Hitler, you're a bad person. And they also support Bernie Sanders just because he says free college, and I think that's the reason a lot of people, mostly college students, support him, just because he muddled those words. If he never said them, no one would even know who he is right now, but he has tons of college students on his side right now, but that's social justice warriors. There's the thing that I mostly hate right now on the internet, and maybe I'll try to get a more detailed video on them later one day, just because I just put this thing together really fast, so I haven't really put everything I hate about them on there, so yeah, it's really, I'm sorry, it's very unprofessional, but that's pretty much all the things or at least some of the people I hate on the internet right now. And, well, any of you who are on this list, I give you this. I'm sorry it's not Get Wrapped, but it's, like I said, I didn't have a lot of time, so that has to do. I'm sorry. So, I hope you liked this video, and thanks for watching, and what were you doing the whole time? I think I just heard you scratching. You weren't licking your butt or anything, were you? You need to go on a walk, Fatty. And that's not her name. Her name's Danny. So, as I said, thanks for watching, and have a good day. Take care.